My phone buzzed. A photo of my brother, grinning by a cherry red Mustang. New ride, new vibes. Thanks to a little family love. My heart dropped. $15,000. My daughter's hearing aid fund was gone. I'll never forget the moment I saw it. My phone buzzed on the kitchen counter, and there it was, a photo of my brother Marcus, grinning ear to ear, standing in front of a cherry red Mustang. The caption read, "New ride, new vibes. Thanks to a little family love." My heart stopped. Not because I didn't want him to have nice things. God knows I'd give him the shirt off my back. But because I just checked my bank account 10 minutes earlier. The $15,000 I'd been saving for my daughter Lila's hearing aids? Gone. Wiped out. And there he was, posing with a car that cost way more than he could ever afford on his bartender gig. I stood there, frozen, the dishwater dripping off my hands onto the floor. Lila was in the next room, humming to herself, oblivious to how quiet her world's been since birth. She's 6, and those hearing aids were supposed to change everything, give her a shot at hearing music, my voice, her own laughter. 2 years of scraping by, picking up extra shifts at the diner, stashing every tip in that account. And Marcus, he knew. He knew what that money was for. I told him a dozen times, showed him the balance once when he asked how I was holding up after the divorce. He'd hugged me, said, "You're a hell of a mom, Tara." Now here I am, staring at that damn car on Instagram, trying to convince myself it's a coincidence. But my gut's screaming otherwise. I called him right then, hands shaking. No answer. Texted him, "Where'd you get the money for that Mustang?" Nothing. Radio silence. Then another post popped up, him revving the engine, laughing like a kid on Christmas. I wanted to throw my phone through the wall. Instead, I sank onto a kitchen chair, staring at Lila's crayon drawings taped to the fridge. She'd drawn me with a big smile. I don't feel much like smiling now. Let me back up a bit, because you need to understand how we got here. Marcus isn't just my brother, he's my twin. We've been tight since we were kids, sharing secrets, covering for each other when Mom got mad. He's charming, reckless, the kind of guy who can talk his way out of anything. I'm the steady one, the planner, the one who keeps things together. When our folks passed a few years back, I thought we'd lean on each other even more. And we did for a while. He'd crash at my place when he was between jobs, play with Lila, make her giggle with his goofy impressions. She calls him Uncle Mars, like he's some superhero. Maybe that's why this hurts so much. He wasn't just family, he was her hero too. About 6 months ago, he started acting weird, dropping hints about being broke, asking about my savings, just out of curiosity. I didn't think much of it. Marcus always had big dreams and empty pockets. He'd talk about starting a business, buying a car, getting out of this dead-end town. I'd nod, half listening, focused on Lila's appointments, her specialists, the endless paperwork for those damn hearing aids. They're custom, high-tech, the kind that could pick up whispers, $15,000, no insurance coverage. I've been so proud watching that account grow, pennies turning into dollars, dollars into hope. Last week, he came over. Said he needed to borrow my laptop for some job applications. I let him, no questions asked. He sat at my kitchen table, tapping away, while Lila showed him her latest drawing, a rocket ship. He ruffled her hair, said, "You're gonna soar, kiddo." I smiled, thinking how lucky she was to have him. Now I'm wondering if he was logging into my bank account while I cooked dinner. The thought makes me nauseous. I called my best friend Jen that night after seeing the posts. She's the no-nonsense type, always has my back. "Tara, you need to confront him," she said. "This isn't adding up." She's right, but I don't even know where to start. I keep replaying his voice in my head. "You're a hell of a mom, Tara," and comparing it to that smug grin in the photo. Did he plan this? Did he sit there, watching me hustle for Lila, knowing he'd take it all? I don't want to believe it. But the empty account, the Mustang, the timing, it's too much to ignore. Lila's asleep now, curled up with her stuffed bunny. I'm sitting here in the dark, scrolling through Marcus's posts again, each one twisting the knife deeper. He's not hiding it. He's flaunting it. And tomorrow, I've got to figure out how to tell my kid her superhero uncle might have just shattered her world. How do you explain betrayal to a 6-year-old who can't even hear the full story? I didn't sleep last night. Not a wink. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw Marcus's stupid grin, that Mustang gleaming under the streetlights like some trophy he'd earned. By 3 a.m., I gave up, dragged myself to the couch, and started digging. I'm no detective, but I've got a laptop, a Wi-Fi connection, and a gut that won't quit. If he thinks he can just waltz off with Lila's future, he's got another thing coming. First stop, my bank account. I logged in, hands shaky on the keys, and pulled up the transaction history. There it was, 3 transfers over the past week. $5,000 on Monday, $7,000 on Wednesday, $3,000 on Friday. Small enough to dodge immediate flags, big enough to bleed me dry. The recipient account was some cryptic string of numbers, no name attached. I called the bank at 6 a.m. when they opened, voice cracking as I explained. The lady on the line was polite but useless. "We'll need to investigate, ma'am. Could take a few days. Did anyone else have access to your devices?" I hung up, stomach churning. Yeah, someone did. My own damn brother. I went back to that night he borrowed my laptop. It was Wednesday, the same day $7,000 vanished. He'd been here for hours, sipping my cheap coffee, chatting about nothing. I'd left him alone to put Lila to bed. 30 minutes, tops. Plenty of time to log in. He knew my password. I'd used it in front of him before, LilaBear06, because I'm an idiot who thought family meant trust. I can still see him at the table, hunched over the screen, muttering about job sites. Was he smirking then? Did he already know what he was about to do? By morning, I was a wreck, but Lila needed me. She stumbled into the kitchen, rubbing her eyes, signing pancakes with those tiny hands. I forced a smile, whipped up a batch, and sat there watching her eat, her little legs swinging under the table. She can't hear the sizzle of the batter or my shaky breaths, but she feels everything. She tapped my arm, signed, "You okay?" I nodded, lied through my teeth. "How do you sign 'Your uncle screwed us' to a kid who still thinks he hung the moon?" I called Jen again after dropping Lila at school. She came over, thermos of coffee in hand, ready to play war council. "Okay, Tara," she said, plopping onto my couch. "Let's think this through. He's posting like he's untouchable. What's his game?" I showed her the Mustang pics, the captions dripping with arrogance. She frowned. "He's either dumb as hell or thinks you won't fight back. Which is it?" I didn't know. Marcus was always impulsive, buying dumb stuff, chasing quick thrills, but this was calculated. Cruel. We scrolled his Instagram again. The Mustang wasn't the only red flag. 2 days ago, he'd posted a shot of a leather jacket, $500 easy, hanging off the car door. "Treating myself," he wrote. Yesterday, a bar tab receipt for $200, captioned "Living large." Every post was a slap in the face, a neon sign screaming where my money went. Jen grabbed her phone, started screenshotting everything. "Evidence," she said. "He's building your case for you." I tried calling him again. Straight to voicemail. Texted, "Marcus, we need to talk. Now." 5 minutes later, my phone pinged. His reply, "Chill, Tara. Busy day. Catch up soon." I stared at it, blood roaring in my ears. Busy day. Right. Probably waxing his stolen car or buying more crap with Lila's hearing aids money. I typed back, $15,000 is missing. Where is it? No response. Of course. Jen suggested checking his other accounts, Facebook, Twitter, anything. We found a Facebook post from last night, him at some dive bar with a couple of sketchy-looking guys I didn't recognize. "Squad goals," he wrote, all of them holding beers, grinning like they'd won the lottery. One commenter asked, "Where'd you get that ride, man?" Marcus replied, "Family came through." I nearly gagged. Family came through. Like I'd handed him a blank check instead of him stabbing me in the back. Then it hit me, something he'd said a month ago. He'd been over, crashing on my couch after a late shift, rambling about some big opportunity. Said he met a guy who flipped cars, made bank reselling them. "All I need is startup cash," he'd grinned, sprawled out with Lila's bunny in his lap. I'd laughed it off, said, "Good luck with that." Did he see my savings as his startup cash? Did he sit there, playing with my kid, plotting how to take it? Lila got home around 3 p.m., bursting through the door with a drawing of a car. She signed, like Uncle Mars. My chest tightened. I hugged her, buried my face in her hair so she wouldn't see my eyes well up. Jen stayed, helped me cook dinner, kept me from spiraling. "We'll figure this out," she said. "He's not getting away with it." I nodded, but inside, I was unraveling. Every dollar he spent was a sound Lila wouldn't hear, her teacher's voice, the birds outside, my "I love you" at bedtime. That night, I sat up again, laptop glowing in the dark. Marcus posted another story, him driving the Mustang, wind in his hair, captioned, "Freedom tastes good." I muted him, hands trembling. Freedom. Sure. Freedom he stole from a 6-year-old who's never heard a lullaby. Tomorrow, I'm calling a lawyer. I don't care if he's my twin. Blood doesn't mean he gets a free pass to ruin us. I woke up to a text from Marcus. 6:47 a.m. "Tara, relax. It's not what you think. I'll explain later. Not what I think. What else could it be? The money's gone. He's got a shiny new car, and he's dodging me like I'm some bill collector." I didn't reply. No point. He's had his chance to explain for 2 days now, and all I've got is radio silence and Instagram flexing. I'm done waiting. Lila was still asleep, her bunny tucked under her chin. I stood there, watching her chest rise and fall, and it hit me hard. Every second I waste chasing Marcus is a second she's stuck in silence. I grabbed my phone, found a lawyer's number Jen had texted me last night, a guy she knows from her cousin's divorce. "Pro bono consults sometimes," she'd said. I dialed, left a shaky voicemail. "Hi, my name's Tara. My brother stole $15,000 from my daughter's medical fund. I need help. Please call me back." Hung up and felt like I'd just jumped off a cliff. By 9 a.m., I was at the diner, apron on, pouring coffee for the regulars. My boss, Sal, caught me staring at nothing mid-shift. "You okay, Tara? Look like you seen a ghost." I forced a laugh, said something like that. Didn't tell him my twin's the ghost haunting me now. Kept my head down, smiled through the tips, but my mind was spinning. Every clink of change in the jar reminded me of what I'd lost, what Lila's lost. I used to love this job, the chatter, the routine. Now it's just noise I can't escape. Jen swung by during my break, slid into a booth with her laptop. "Got something," she said, eyes glinting like she'd struck gold. She pulled up a screenshot from Marcus's Twitter, a reply to some car guy asking about the Mustang's price. "Traded up with a little dude," Marcus wrote. $15K cash, worth every penny. Jen pointed at the timestamp. Friday, 8 p.m., right after the last transfer cleared. He's not even hiding it, she said. Dumbass handed you proof. I stared at it, pulse pounding. $15,000 cash. Exact amount. No coincidence. He didn't just take it, he bragged about it. I wanted to scream, but Sal was eyeing us from the counter, so I kept it together. What do I do with this? I asked Jen. She grinned. You show the lawyer. This ties him to the money. He's screwed. I nodded, hope flickering for the first time in days. Maybe we've got a shot. After my shift, I picked up Lila from school. She was chatty, signing about her day, something about a frog in science class. I smiled, signed back, but my head was elsewhere. We stopped at the park on the way home. She ran to the swings, laughing silently, pumping her legs like she could fly. I sat on a bench, watching her, and that's when my phone rang. The lawyer, Mike something. Deep voice, straight to the point. Heard your message. Sounds like theft, maybe fraud if he accessed your account without permission. Bring me everything. Bank records, screenshots, texts. I'll see you tomorrow, 10 a.m. I thanked him, voice cracking, and hung up. Tomorrow. One step closer. When we got home, I cooked spaghetti, Lila's favorite. She twirled the noodles, giggling when they slipped off her fork. I tried to focus on her, but Marcus kept creeping in. Then my phone buzzed, a new post. Him at a car wash, Mustang sparkling, captioned, keeping her pretty. Comments piled up, friends hyping him up, a few asking where the cash came from. He replied to one. Family hookup, you know how it goes. I slammed the phone down, harder than I meant to. Lila jumped, signed, what's wrong? I signed back, nothing, sweetie, and kissed her forehead. She didn't buy it, but she let it go. Later, I called our mom's sister, Aunt Faye. She's the family glue, always mediating our messes. I needed someone else to know, someone who'd get it. Tara, honey, she said when I told her. Marcus wouldn't do that. He's got a good heart. I sent her the screenshots, the transfers, the posts, his family hookup bullshit. She went quiet. Then, oh Lord, what's he gotten into? She promised to talk to him, but I could hear the doubt in her voice. She loves him too much to see straight. That night, I dug deeper. Found an old email from Marcus, months back, asking for my bank login just to check something for a tax thing he was helping with. I'd sent it, no hesitation. Idiot. But he kept it, waited for the right moment. I cross-checked dates. Every transfer lined up with nights he'd been over, using my Wi-Fi, my trust. The puzzle was snapping together, and every piece had his fingerprints. Lila woke up at midnight, bad dream. I held her, rocking her back to sleep, whispering, you're safe. Even though she couldn't hear me. She nestled closer, warm and soft, and I made a promise, to her, to myself. Marcus isn't winning this. He can flash his car, play the big shot, but I'm not backing down. Tomorrow's the lawyer. After that, whatever it takes. Lila's getting those hearing aids, even if I have to claw them out of his hands myself. I barely made it through breakfast. Lila was signing about her frog drawing, all excited, and I kept nodding, faking it. My head was already at 10 a.m. with the lawyer. I dropped her at school, kissed her goodbye, and drove straight to Mike's office, a cramped little place above a deli, smelling like pastrami and old paper. He was waiting, tie loose, coffee in hand. Tara, right? Let's see what you've got. I dumped everything on his desk, bank statements, screenshots, Marcus's smug posts, even that old email where I'd sent him my login. Mike skimmed it, nodding, scribbling notes. This is good, he said. Real good. Looks like unauthorized access. Maybe identity theft if you used your creds. Civil case for sure. Maybe criminal if the DA bites. Criminal. The word hit like a brick. My twin in jail? I swallowed hard, said. I just want the money back. For my daughter. He looked up, eyes softening. We'll start with a demand letter. See if he coughs it up. If not, court. Meet me here Friday to sign off. Driving home, I felt lighter, like maybe this could work. Then my phone rang. Aunt Faye. Tara, I talked to Marcus, she said, voice tight. He's coming over to your place. Now. Wants to clear the air. My stomach dropped. I wasn't ready for this, not yet. Faye, I don't, she cut me off. He's upset, Han. Says you're blowing it out of proportion. Just hear him out. I hung up, gripping the wheel. Hear him out. Sure. Like he's got some magic excuse for stealing from Lila. I got home, and there he was, leaning against that damn Mustang in my driveway, arms crossed, sunglasses on like some wannabe movie star. My hands clenched into fists. He saw me, grinned. Hey, sis. You've been busy, huh? That voice, cocky, casual, like we're joking about a spilled beer. I marched up, stopped a foot away. Where's my money, Marcus? No preamble, no games. His grin faltered, but he recovered fast. Whoa, slow down. What money? I pulled out my phone, shoved the bank transfers in his face. This money, $15,000. Gone. Same week you get this car. Explain that. He glanced at it, shrugged. Coincidence. I've been saving up, Tara. You're paranoid. Paranoid? I laughed, sharp and bitter. Saving up? On what? Tips? You're full of shit. His jaw tightened. Watch it. I don't need this drama. I came to talk, not fight. Talk then. I snapped. Tell me how you got $15,000 cash for a Mustang while my account's empty. He shifted, sunglasses slipping down his nose. Look, I borrowed some cash, okay? From a buddy. Paid him back already. This car's legit. Borrowed. Right. Which buddy? I pressed. He waved a hand. You don't know him. Point is, I didn't take your money. You're freaking out over nothing. I showed him the Twitter post, $15K cash, family came through. His eyes narrowed. That's just talk, Tara. Hype. You know me. Yeah, I do. Too well. You had my login, I said. You used my laptop. The transfers match when you were here. He stepped closer, voice dropping. You're accusing me of stealing? From you? After everything we've been through? Guilt trip. Classic Marcus. I didn't flinch. From Lila. Her hearing aids. You knew what that money was for. He froze, just for a second, then laughed loud, forced. Oh, come on. She's fine. Kids adapt. You're making me the bad guy over some fancy gear. Some fancy gear. My vision went red. She's not fine. She can't hear me tell her I love her. You took that from her. His face hardened. You're nuts. I'm not some monster. I'd never, he stopped, ran a hand through his hair. Look, I'll help you out, okay? When I've got some cash. Chill. Help me out. I yelled. It's my money. Give it back now. He backed up, hands up. I don't have it, Tara. Car's bought. Done deal. Sue me if you're so sure. He smirked, like it was a dare. I took a breath, said, I will. His smirk vanished. You'd sue your own brother? Over this? Over Lila? Damn right. He stared at me, then shook his head. You've changed, sis. Used to be we had each other's backs. He climbed into the Mustang, revved it loud, and peeled out, leaving tire marks on my drive. I stood there, shaking, replaying it. He didn't even deny it, not really. Just danced around it, threw out excuses like confetti. I called Jen, voice cracking as I told her. He's delusional, she said. Thinks he can charm his way out. Save that smirk for the judge. She's right. He's banking on me backing down, on family ties holding me back. Not this time. Lila got home an hour later, saw the tire marks, signed Uncle Mars. I nodded, forced a smile. She ran inside, came back with a photo, her and Marcus at the zoo last summer, him lifting her to see the giraffes. She signed miss him. I hugged her tight, signed me too, and hated how true it was. I missed the brother I thought he was. No? He's a stranger in a stolen car, and I'm the one who's got to break Lila's heart to fix this. I didn't expect the fallout to hit so fast. By noon the next day, my phone was blowing up, texts, calls, voicemails from relatives I hadn't talked to in months. Word travels quick in this family, and Marcus had been busy spinning his version. And Faye called first, voice trembling. Tara, he says you threatened to sue him over a misunderstanding. Says you're tearing us apart. I gripped the counter, kept my tone even. Faye, he took $15,000 from Lila's hearing aid fund. That's not a misunderstanding. She sighed, long and heavy. He's swearing it's not true. Says he'd never hurt her. I don't know what to believe. She wasn't the only one. Cousin Denise texted. Heard you're going after Marcus. Harsh, girl. He's family. Uncle Ray left a voicemail. Tara, we don't do lawyers in this family. Work it out. Even my grandma, sweet, quiet Grandma Ruth, called, her voice soft but firm. Marcus came by, crying. Said you won't listen. He's a mess, honey. Give him a chance. A mess. Sure. A mess with a Mustang and my money. I sat there, staring at Lila's stuffed bunny on the couch, feeling the walls close in. They're all buying it, his tears, his charm, his poor me act. I called Jen, dumped it all on her. They're acting like I'm the villain, I said. Like I'm overreacting. She snorted. Of course they are. Marcus is the golden boy, always has been. But you've got proof. Screw their guilt trips. She's right. He's been the charmer since we were kids, talking his way out of trouble, flashing that grin. I was the quiet one, the fixer. Now I'm the bad guy for not fixing this quietly. I met Mike the lawyer again Friday morning, signed the demand letter. It's simple. Marcus has 10 days to return the $15,000 or we file suit. Mike leaned back, said, he'll either pay up or dig in. Either way, you're covered. I nodded, but my stomach twisted. 10 days. 10 days of this family mess getting uglier. I asked, what if he lies in court? Mike shrugged. He can try. Your evidence is solid. Posts, transfers, that email, he's got no leg to stand on. When I got home, Jen was waiting with coffee and a plan. Let's hit back, she said. Poster's side. Call him out. I hesitated. Publicly? That's his game, not mine. She raised an eyebrow. He's using Instagram to play victim. You've got the truth. Use it. I chewed my lip, thinking of Lila. Did I want her dragged into this online? But Jen pushed. Not her, just the facts. He's banking on you staying quiet. Don't. So I did it. Opened Instagram, typed it out. My brother Marcus took $15,000 from my daughter's medical fund. He's posting about his new car like it's a joke. It's not. She needs hearing aids. That's what he stole. Attach the bank transfers. His family came through. Post the Mustang pics. Hit post. My hand shook as it went live. Within minutes, likes and comments, friends, coworkers, even some family. That's awful, Tara. What a jerk. You've got this. Then the backlash. Cousin Denise. Dirty laundry much? Marcus's buddy Jake. Lies. He's a good dude. Marcus called an hour later, furious. You put that shit online? Are you serious, Tara? I kept calm. You started it, posting your new ride. Truth hurts, huh? He laughed, cold. You're pathetic. Dragging me through the mud over some kid stuff. She'll be fine. Kid stuff. I snapped. Her hearing isn't kid stuff. It's her life. Give me the money back, Marcus. He hung up. 5 minutes later, his story popped up. A selfie, eyes red like he'd been crying. Family's supposed to lift you up, not tear you down. Hurts, man. Comments poured in sympathy from his crew, our cousins, even Aunt Faye. We're here for you, Marcus. I muted it, sick to my stomach. He's turning it into a pity party, and they're eating it up. Jen stayed over, scrolling with me. He's good, she admitted. But he's overplaying it. People will see through the act. I wasn't so sure. That night, Faye showed up unannounced, arms crossed on my porch. Tara, that post was cruel. He's struggling, lost his job last month, you know that. I didn't. He never said. Faye, he stole from Lila. I don't care how bad he's got it. She shook her head. He says he borrowed it, meant to pay it back. Give him time. Borrowed. I laughed, bitter. He bought a car, Faye. Not groceries. She stared at me, then softened. He's still your brother. We don't abandon family. She left, and I stood there, reeling. Abandon him? He abandoned us the second he hit transfer. Lila came out, signed, who was that? I signed, and Faye kept it simple. She nodded, went back to her drawing another car, red like his. My heart cracked. By bedtime, the family chat was a war zone. Denise defending Marcus, Ray saying I'm too hard, Faye begging us to talk it out. Only Jen and my cousin Luke backed me, Luke texting privately. He's a leech, Tara. Always has been. Don't let him win. I clung to that. But the rest? It's like I'm the outsider now. Marcus is the victim, and I'm the bully for wanting justice. Tomorrow, I'm calling the bank again. Evidence is my lifeline, family loyalties already slipped through my fingers. Saturday hit like a punch I didn't see coming. I was barely out of bed when Jen called, voice buzzing. Tara, check Marcus's story. Now. I fumbled my phone, opened Instagram. There he was, leaning against the Mustang at some gas station, cap low, smirking. Rough week, but I'm good. Thanks to the real ones who've got my back. Then he panned to a stack of cash on the passenger seat, hundreds, fanned out like a poker hand. Caption, hustle pays off. My blood ran cold. Hustle? That was Lila's money, waved around like a prop. I screenshotted it, sent it to Mike. His reply was instant. This is gold. Arrogance is his Achilles heel. Bring it Monday. I nodded to myself, fury simmering. He's not just dodging, he's taunting me. I called the bank again, begged for an update. The rep side. Investigation's ongoing, ma'am. Looks like the transfers came from your IP, but we're tracing the recipient account. Could be a week. A week. Lila's still counting on me, and I'm stuck waiting. Jen came over, laptop in tow. He's slipping, she said, pulling up his posts. Look at the comments, people are asking questions. Sure enough, under the cash pic. Where'd that come from, bro? Thought you were broke? Marcus hadn't replied. Jen grinned. He's cracking. Keep the pressure on. I posted again calm, factual, that hustle, money? It's my daughter's hearing aid fund. He won't give it back. Attached a story, the transfers. No ranting, just truth. The response was quieter this time, fewer likes, but more DMs. Old friends, coworkers. Tara, I had no idea. How can I help? Then Faye called, voice sharp. Tara, stop this online nonsense. Marcus says that cash is from a side gig. You're humiliating him. Side gig? I laughed, dry. Faye, he's lying. He's got no job, no gig. That's my $15,000. She paused, then, he's at my place. Come talk. No phones, no lawyers, just us. I hesitated. Trap or truce? Jen shook her head. Don't go. He'll twist it. But I had to. If there was a chance to end this without court, I'd take it for Lila. I drove to Faye's, heart pounding. Marcus was on her couch, Mustang keys dangling from his hand. Faye hovered, nervous. He looked up, no grin this time. Tara, this is getting old. You're killing me with this crap. I sat, kept my voice steady. Give me the money back. Today. We're done. He leaned forward, eyes hard. I told you, I don't have it. Car's paid for. Cash is gone. I'll pay you later, promise. Later. Always later. You promised Lila a zoo trip last month, I said. Bailed on that too. Your word's trash. Faye cut in. He's trying, Tara. He's got a buyer for the car, needs time. I stared at Marcus. That true? He shrugged. Maybe. Working on it. Maybe. I stood. Sell it. Now. Or I'm done talking. He smirked. You'll wait. You always do. That hit deep, because he's right. I've waited on him my whole life. Not anymore. I walked out, Faye calling after me. Tara, please. I didn't stop. Back home, Lila was coloring, oblivious. I sat with her, signed, You're my hero, watched her beam. Then my phone pinged, Look, Marcus just posted. Bragging again. Another story, him driving, music blaring, haters gonna hate. Comments flipped, family silent, strangers piling on. Dude, You stole from a kid? Sell the car, asshole. His bubble was bursting. I smiled, small but real. Monday, I met Mike. Showed him the cash post. He grinned. He's cooked. Demand letters out today. If he doesn't pay, we file Friday. I exhaled, tension easing. That night, Faye texted. He's selling the car. Give him a week. I didn't reply. A week's too late. Lila's appointment's in 5 days. I'm not holding my breath for Marcus's maybe. Tuesday morning, I woke to a miracle. My phone buzzed. A bank alert. $10,000 deposited. Sender, Marcus. I blinked, checked again. Real. Then a text from him. Sold the car. Rest soon. Happy now? Happy? No. Relieved? Barely. It's a start, but not enough. I called Mike, told him. Good, he said. Pressure worked. I'll amend the letter, $5,000 by Friday, or we proceed. I agreed. Halfway there feels like nothing when Lila's still waiting. Jen came over, triumphant. Told you he'd crack. I nodded, but it didn't feel like victory. Marcus texted again. Hope you're proud, ruining me. I didn't bite. Ruining him? He ruined us first. Faye called. Softer now. He's a wreck, Tara. Lost the car, his friends. Says he's sorry. Sorry. I've heard that before. He can prove it with the rest of the money, I said. She sighed. He's trying. Give him that. Trying's not enough anymore. Wednesday, Lila's specialist called, appointment confirmed, but payments due up front. I scraped together $2,000 from savings, added Marcus's $10,000. $3,000 short. I posted one last time, got $10,000 back. Still need $5,000 for her hearing aids. He's got till Friday. No begging, just facts. A coworker DM'd, starting a fundraiser, $500 already. Tears hit me hard. Strangers stepping up where family failed. Thursday, Marcus showed up, unannounced, no car, looking rough. Here, he said, shoving an envelope at me. For $1,000 cash. All I've got. Take it. I counted it, met his eyes. Why'd you do it? He looked away. I don't know. Needed a win. Thought I'd fix it later. Later. Always later. You broke her heart, I said. He flinched. I'll make it up to her. I didn't argue. Took the cash, shut the door. Friday, Mike called. He paid $14,000 total. Want to drop it? I thought of Lila, her silent world. Yeah, it's enough. Fundraiser hit $1,500, covered the gap. Surgery's Monday. That night, Lila signed, excited, grinning big. I signed me too, minute. Marcus texted. I'm out of town. Need space. Tell Lila I'm sorry. I didn't reply. He's gone for now. Family's quiet. No more sides. Just me and Lila, moving forward. She'll hear soon. That's what matters.